Pork and wild rice is on the menu, and Representative Randolph discusses strengthening Florida's economy for the long term.
Hi, and welcome back to Live with Lori, Political Food for Thought. Today we are cooking pork with spinach and a cherry balsamic glaze. We are here with Representative Scott Randolph, and we're getting ready to take the pork out. Now, the pork is not done completely because we're just going to set it on this pan and stick it back in the oven while we're making this glaze. Be careful, because this is like kind of the dangerous part. And
so does it bake it a little bit while it's in the oven?
Yeah, it finishes the cooking on it. Pork is really easy to overcook, so we don't want to do that.
And that's a nice even cooking.
It is, and it's really nice to. Oh, thank you. All right. Well, on our last segment, we were talking about committees that you were on, so I kind of want to talk about how it is to be the minority and how hard is it to get things done while you're in, the minority, because I know there's been a lot of disagreements between Democrats and Republicans, and how do you overcome that?
There is and there isn't. I mean, obviously there's policy differences that we have. A lot of stuff that gets to the floor tends to be somewhat bipartisan, but there's certainly some very big issues on taxes and insurance and those type of things that create some very big policy differences. So, it's in the committees. When you're in the minority, you try to work the committee process as much as you can, because certainly once it gets to the floor, it's pretty much decided.
Okay, I'm going to let you stir that. Don't burn yourself. It's popping. What do you think could be done to kind of encourage the parties to work together?
Well, and one of the things is, historically, as these districts get more and more gerrymandered, and so the races are decided in a primary, people don't have to listen to the other side. And so you really have to, in my opinion, you have to un-gerrymander these districts so that people have to listen to both sides just to get elected.
Isn't that kind of what
Amendment 5 and 6 did that some last year.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the legislature did a pretty good job of skirting some of that. So I don't think we have the most fair districts still yet, but they've certainly made them more fair in some areas. So it waits to be seen.
Okay, I'm going to have you just step over there.
You don't trust me that close to the oven.
No. I'm going to let you pour this over and
we're going to pour this over that?
You're going to pour it right over there.
Oh, we're going to pour this.
Yep, just dump it right in there. That is about 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar and a half a cup of cherry conserve. Now, I canned my own cherries, and if you don't have cherry conserve, you can take cherry preserves and just add water to it till you have a nice liquid that you can add to the pan. Okay, toss it up. There you go. See how
Looks
easy
nice,
that?
Yeah.
See how easy that was?
Oh, I like the smell of the cherries.
So, what do you think besides, having parties that would actually listen to each other, what do you think one of the biggest things that, that you think the legislature could do to improve Florida in the coming years?
Well, obviously we have economic issues in Florida. We've sort of been an economy that's depended solely upon new people coming into the state. And we've really got to move to a more mature economy that's built more on a lasting economic growth with better jobs, not just low-wage tourism jobs, but better and high-paying jobs.
Right.
And that's going to take an investment in education as well. I mean, this isn't going to happen overnight. And we've got to continue to make sure that we invest not only in K through 12, but our universities as well. And we've got to make sure that we're dedicated to making that happen. So we can't go around cutting education budgets like we have in the past.
Do you think that maybe rather than, cutting as well as, more teacher accountability and things like that, maybe, reworking the school structure would
I think there's always
help.
a way to modernize schools, especially.
Right.
I mean, one of the things I'm always amazed at, if you think about schools, especially K through 12, we're still sort of based on the old agricultural type school system with 8 months of school, the summers are off, you get home in time to do the chores.
Let me tell you, my son would not be happy because he loves his summer vacation.
Well, it's not that adding school, every study shows that adding school days does a lot to performance. You talk about then you talk to the police about when are petty crimes committed. They're committed from like the time period between when kids get home at 3 and there's no parent home till 5 or 6 p.m. There's a lot of different things there that go into extending the classroom day, extending the year, but sort of recognizing that the school structure in and of itself needs to be modernized as well. And really, talking about teacher accountability, there's no doubt we want great teachers in the classroom.
Right.
And you can't get there, though, with really the pay structure that we've put in place. It's sort of it's investment. I think with investment comes accountability.
Right.
It's difficult to have accountability when you're not investing and attracting the people into the profession to begin with.
And I've said this for years, my son was in public school for 6 years, and during that entire time, I think he had one bad teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think bad teachers are such a bad problem, and I think that most teachers are teaching because they really want to be teaching and they like what they're doing. I think that and this is just from my opinion, that it's a top-down kind of thing, and maybe that needs to be changed.
There's no doubt. It's the department. I tell you, the only agency in Tallahassee that has expanded significantly in the last decade is the Department of Education,
Right.
who tries to control everything from Tallahassee.
Yeah, and I think that's the wrong
It gives
approach.
no flexibility.
It's nuts, and that's just what we're adding that to the wild rice right now. We've got half a cup of chopped walnuts that we're adding to our wild rice. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to ask Representative Scott Randolph our signature question. So don't even go away.
Don't go away. Lori asks the representative her signature question when we come back on Live with Lori.